Hello everyone and welcome back to the Global Gamers Invitational. This is the final match in this best of 3 series between CauthonLuck and his opponent Dimaga. We are here on Steps of War, and before we get into this game I do want to thank those sponsors: iFixit, SCVs for the real world, but also Esports United and the Handsome Nerd. Of course, the winner here will be moving on to the final round of 8. The winners there and some of the losers. Unfortunately, a few of the players from the Invitational won't be able to attend, and so some of the losers will actually get to move on. So this is a very important game because there's very, very good odds if you win this that you will move on to the actual tournament. So we are here on Steps of War. We are tied at 1. I'm a bit concerned for Dimaga here. This is definitely a very Terran-favored map, and CauthonLuck no doubt knows how to exploit it well. Very, very small, close quarters, so the range of siege tanks, the range of those obnoxious sensor towers really give Terran a nice leg up. But as always for Zerg players, the ability to grab this third expansion relatively efficiently, to deny Terran third expansions, and to get to those high-tech units can really help the Zerg player stay in the game. So a lot will come down to the early harassment to see how each player contains the other, and how many bases they can keep one another to. So far, both players playing very standard. We do have a Terran wall-off at the front using supply depots, so that is a bit of a liability for the Baneling busts. But so far, CauthonLuck has definitely shown that he's favoring Hellions, and Hellions do a very, very nice job of dealing with Baneling busts, so I don't suspect we'll see too much of a threat there for CauthonLuck. Dimaga, however, is capable of going the Baneling bust route if he wants. He is playing that same build extractor going up before the spawning pool, so he has that 100 gas right away to get the speedlings, also possibly for a faster hatchery. Often we're seeing Zerg players take drones off of this extractor once they have the initial 100 gas, playing for a while with speedlings. Then once they're content with their mineral count, usually getting an expansion, they will put more guys back on gas, go lair, and transition to mutalisks. CauthonLuck being very, very brave here. He is happy to poke away at these drones, and he's getting away with it. Unlikely he'll get a kill, but might happen. Meanwhile, in this Terran base, we do have some Marines getting pumped out, so no Reaper play. We aren't seeing Marauders, and I imagine we'll be seeing a factory any moment. Sure enough, there it is. This is exactly what we've been seeing from CauthonLuck consistently. Every single game is the barracks with a reactor soon to follow. There it is at 50 gas. And he'll flip these over, pump out Hellions, then move out with about 6 or 8 Hellions, and try and roast this base. Dimaga going for the 19 or 20, I imagine that was an 18 or 19 supply expansion. So this is very, very standard Zerg play currently, getting that late expansion. Once you have speedling research on the way, notice that Dimaga has taken off those gas drones, pure minerals now to support the drone count pumping, and hopefully he'll have enough speedlings and enough creep spread to move out to here and prevent those Hellions from just running rampant. So we'll see how well this early harass goes. We've seen this every time, so a lot will come down to how successful it is. Of course, if Dimaga is able to hold this off in tech, he will get to mutalisks, and if CauthonLuck able to do some damage, he will have a serious leg up. Hellion's just so cheap. You only need to roast a couple Zerglings and a drone for each Hellion to pay itself off, so this is such an efficient Terran harassment strategy in terms of cost. Really doesn't slow them down. No gas expenditure, so you can tech up, you can grab, looks like a Marauder follow-up getting ready here. And of course you need those Thors and that expansion pretty fast unless you're going to win outright. So 2 Hellions do appear to be moving out right away for CauthonLuck, a bit gutsy, as Zergling speed almost finished here for Dimaga. And the creep beginning to expand, quite a number of Zerglings here, so more than enough to get a surround on these Hellions, but he is moved out just in time, beats the Zergling speed, gets 1 Ling for free, but I guess he is going to fall back. I imagine he did indeed see the expansion, knows what he needed to know, and he's going to wait till he has enough of his Hellions to create a nice ball of Hellions that can't be surrounded by Zerglings without taking huge casualties. So definitely waiting for at least another 2. I imagine he will continue to produce Hellions even after the initial 6. And Marauders being pumped, being prepared for a Roach transition if that happens. Still no second gas, and no additional command center yet, but we are seeing lair tech, so Dimaga definitely reaching for mutalisks right away. And with 6 Hellions, CauthonLuck is continuing to wait, so I guess he is going to go for an 8 Hellion harass. This is such a potent attack, 8 Hellions. And Dimaga doesn't have any static defenses. He does have the Queen. Second Queen, he's got 2 packs of Zerglings waiting, I'm guessing, to ambush. There are very few drones here. So Dimaga might just be waiting for the Hellions to work their way up here and then get a pincer attack both sides, this pack and this pack. You can see that Oh, he doesn't have control group, so there's one control group. But here come those Hellions, already coming in. They toast one right away. Unfortunately, no trap is sprung, but the Zerglings do get a surround. Look, they're going to take 2 of the Hellions down, but so many Zerglings getting roasted by those Hellions. The Marauders are in for support, and almost all of these Zerglings for Dimaga go down. 14 more being produced. Tons more Zerglings pouring out, but enough of the Hellions go down that I think Dimaga might be able to hold this off. It's going to be pretty close either way. The Marauder's going to try and focus down this Queen, focus down this expansion. But there are the Lings. The lair tech is complete, and it looks like CauthonLuck's either waiting for reinforcements or he's going to let this attack go. You'll see his Marauders are a little bit beat up. There's another Hellion, so he has enough Hellions to go in once again, roast some more Zerglings. However, this attack has been successful so far. A lot of losses for Dimaga, and trying to take out this expansion. Not enough Zerglings popping out. Nice control here, keeping these Zerglings away from being killed. And there's the surround once again, engaging the Hellions and the Marauders all around. No effective AoE from these Hellions, and they are all going down, the Marauders as well. And the reinforcing Marauders and Hellions not going to be enough. CauthonLuck forced to retreat, getting as many Lings as he can in the fallback. With some beautiful play by Dimaga. This will give him a nice leg up for the remainder of the match. Units lost at this point is 22 over 1650, so a nice little 400, or I guess it's a 500 mineral lead. That is exactly what he wants to see. In addition, however, I think this is the more important point. Unfortunately for Dimaga, he did lose the drones on this expansion, and he does have a harvester deficiency. But he has the potential to bounce back. You'll see he is producing that Spire, not getting any drones because he's a bit mineral starved. I imagine he wants to save up those minerals. And the Spire unfortunately gets scanned, so I imagine CauthonLuck already has that engineering bay, getting the army, so getting ready for that Thor Marine transition to handle that Zerg Tier 2 aggression. Some nice creep spread here too by Dimaga, so the early harass not entirely successful. It has delayed Dimaga, but really didn't quite do as much damage as he ought to. I would give Dimaga a slight advantage in this position, simply because there's no expansion yet for CauthonLuck. He is playing defensively, preparing for those Mutalisks, but here he is trying again. Lots of Hellions moving in, only Zerglings in the defense, and this Queen, even a Queen, quickly goes down to that many Hellions. Marauders following up, so he's going to try again. We haven't seen that many Zerglings coming up for Dimaga. Here it is, another surround, able to catch all those Marauders, but the Hellions are dancing away quite happily. No surround for the Lings, more Lings pouring out. The more these Lings being produced are, the less drones being built. But there is that nice surround. CauthonLuck's force once again killed to the last man. Marine here is, I guess, feeling very vengeful, but ultimately stupid and dies. And the creep spread continuing for Dimaga. He is trying to drone up as best he can. Now has 27. Still a fair number of Lings, doing a nice job holding on. And now this creep spread is all the way down the ramp. He has nice vision and good opportunities for surrounds. However, that expansion, I believe I did see this going up. There is a command center being built right here for CauthonLuck, so he will have that expansion very soon. Dimaga not quite yet ready for the harassment. He is finally producing Mutalisks from the Spire. He's doing a nice job keeping those minerals and gas spent. So he currently has 3 Mutalisks, and let me check that again. 3 Mutalisks, no more being produced, is getting the damage upgrade, so he's committing to Mutalisk play, which we're not at the least surprised about. Definitely going to be seeing Zerglings, Mutalisks, and Banelings. So he's going to try and move out with these 3. Unfortunately for Dimaga, the Thor is already out. There are already missile turrets at the main, and no expansion yet to harass. So the good news is there is no expansion. The bad news is these Mutalisks will have a hard time doing more than being a nuisance. But this is actually something we've seen from Dimaga, is that he likes to get, a few Mutalisks, 3 or 6, and I see this from a lot of Zerg players. Get 3 or 6 Mutalisks, threatening that massive Mutalisks, forcing the Terran player to really go heavy on the Thors, and then just not producing many Mutalisks at all after that point. So you can see the production still very Thor heavy, getting stim for those Marines. Unfortunately, a little bit starved in terms of income, doesn't have this expansion up and running quite yet, and starting to mine out because of those mules. So CauthonLuck is moving along nicely. You see he's grabbing the Infernal Pre-Igniter, so he will have his combination. Hellions, Marines, Thors, probably some siege tanks, throwing up a bunker and a supply depot to deal with some Zergling aggression, and already a missile turret coming down to prevent that Mutalisk harass. So this is just very typical play. Going to be very hard for Dimaga to harass with these Mutalisks. He still has, I guess, only 5 when these 2 come up, so very, very few Mutalisks. But just wants to let CauthonLuck know that if he doesn't build those turrets, doesn't build those Thors, he will get harassed to death. So I would be expecting to see Dimaga going for 3rd base fairly soon. He does have